What's up, everybody? My name is Chef Bryce Taylor here with FSU TV3, giving you the Chef Breakdown. For as long as I can remember, I have been cooking. Since I was about 5 or 6, I was cooking with my mother in the kitchen. She would allow me to come in, make something. I remember my first dish was a grilled cheese. Of course, I burnt it, so it was a burnt cheese.
What?
Surprisingly, when I was in middle school, I was able to go on one of those favorite shows, my favorite show, Chopped Junior on Food Network, and then a couple years later, I got to go on Guys Grocery Games. So with that being said, today we're going to be making risotto with Chartwell's Teaching Kitchen. So when you start with the risotto, you're going to need a few ingredients. One, the arborio rice, which is the risotto in and of itself. You're going to need some sort of dry wine. In the video, he's going to be using a masala wine, but I prefer a white dry wine. Just adds a little bit of sweetness and a little bit of acidity. You're also going to need shallots, garlic, and butter. And lastly, you're going to need a stock of some sort, whether it be chicken or vegetable. All right, so first things first you're going to do, you want to prepare your vegetables. Now, he goes over in the video of how to properly cut vegetables and how to properly cut anything, honestly. The number one thing you have to remember is you want to pull your fingers back. If you don't do that, you are going to cut yourself. I cannot stress that enough. You have to pull your fingers back. Some people like to get them a little bit more or less like a claw, but when you get towards the end of the vegetable, you have to. You want to keep it just like this. Therefore, the blade glides just down your fingers, and it's almost impossible to cut yourself. So that's a pro tip right there. So after you start preparing your vegetables, in the video, he was using a red onion. Me, when I make risotto, I'd rather use a shallot. Shallots are a little bit sweeter, and red onions bring a sort of intense heat to the risotto. Granted, it's really good for the recipe, but for me, I like to use shallots and garlic. You want to start by sauteing them on a medium to low heat with a little bit of oil. Now, when you're making risotto and you have a protein or a main dish to go along with it, personally, for me, I like to make that main dish halfway through me cooking the risotto, because making risotto is a long and arduous process of you working and working and working. If I were cooking chicken, it would be a little bit towards just when it's about to finish. Steak, something that takes a little bit longer, halfway through the risotto. But for here, it works just as perfectly. All right, so the next step is you're gonna take your arborio. You gotta say it with me now. Arborio. Arborio is a nice little short grain rice. It's very, very starchy. The starch on the rice is actually what makes the risotto so creamy. So the first step, what you want to do is, that I like to do, and usually most people, depending on what flavor you're going for, you want to brown your butter. Brown butter is so delicious. It gives butter this nice nutty flavor and this beautiful brown color. You want to brown that too. But here's a pro tip that most people don't know about. I like to toast my risotto. So I don't put anything in the pan, just the risotto, pour it right in the pan, put it on medium heat. And I like to just toast it a little bit to the point where they're just transparent, because they're white. But if you toast them and you get them hot, they turn just a little bit clear. And after that, that's when I add my butter and I start with the stock. All right, so now at this point, again, another personal tip for me, I like to cook down my shallots and my garlic, after I've added and toasted my arborio. And once you add your butter, again, you want it to be transparent. Now, remember this, each time you add liquid, you want to make sure that almost the last little bit you added before was basically almost gone. So you're going to add your wine, whether it be masala or white wine. He used masala wine. You're going to cook down that wine, because, you don't want to get tipsy now. You have to cook down the alcohol. If you don't do that, you're going to have a whole other world of problems.
2 shots of vodka.
After most of the wine is gone, this is when you start adding your stock. Now here's the pro tip. You don't want to add too much, you don't want to add too little. Most ladles are about the same size. I like to ladle in just one little ladle's worth of stock or whatever. And I'll mix it in, work it, rather using a rubber spatula or a wooden spoon. This is the most important part of making risotto. And there's a little cheat too. Look, I'm not going to be too anal about it. I know some chefs, they don't like it, but if you're having troubles making your risotto creamy, you can add heavy cream. Granted, a lot of people are against it. You're not supposed to, but I'm not going to get mad at you, I'm not going to get mad at you. You might be a first-time chef. You might be a first-time cooking. Do what works for you. But you have to work it. When I say you have to keep stirring, you have to keep stirring. Add, stir, let it go. Add, stir, let it go. And you'll see this here. Granted, I'm surprised that, they were able to cut this video down, but it takes a very long time to make risotto, especially depending on how much you're making. Now, when it comes to plating, it really depends. When I say it depends on how you feel, it depends on the setting, If it were a more formal setting, I would look for, you know, a form that I could find. You know, they're really small. You can find them like Target or any sort of restaurant supply store. You get the little form and then you place it in there. It's just prettier. It's just more presentable. If you're going for a more home style thing, it's really nice to just pick up a spoon, kind of circle it off and place it on the plate. None of it really matters. It's just really about how you feel. Now, after that long process of cooking the risotto and plating it, now comes the best part, my favorite part, eating it, tasting it. That's number one right there. Now, when you taste the risotto, based on everything that we've used, you should have a nice, subtle umami flavor. It shouldn't be too acidic. It shouldn't be too creamy. It should be just right. When I'm telling you the flavors, it should almost melt on your, it should melt on your tongue. That's how soft the rice should be. It shouldn't be too firm. It should be creamy, just like I stated. Honestly, and I'm looking at it now. I'm looking at the way that the students are. You know, they're looking pretty happy. I see people shaking their head. That means they did good. That means you did a good job. So that's number one right there. Tasting. If it tastes good, you know you did good. Thank you for hanging with us for the chef breakdown. Honestly, risotto is one of my favorite meals to make. If you watch me on Instagram or any sort of social media, you know I make risotto at least once a month, and I like to put different spins on it. It's number one. It's such an easy meal once you get the hang of it. It's so fun. It's comforting. So for more information on what I got going on, you can check me out on all social media platforms under Chef Bryce Taylor. And you can also email me at chefbrycetaylor@gmail.com. If you're interested in the Chartwell's Teaching Kitchen, you can visit www.dineoncampus.com/Frostburg or follow them on social media at Eat It Frostburg.